Andrew, obviously you guys don't catch a lot of breaks in terms of the quarterbacks you faced over the last few weeks, and you get Kenny Pickett back just in time for you guys to play him as well. Kind of what have you seen on tape from Pitt's offense with Pickett?
Yeah, it was it was our bye week Saturday, and I was with the kids, and then I turned on 4 p.m. With the expectation that he would be down, and sure enough, he was running around and playing good football. Couldn't even tell that he had had a supposed ankle injury. So we faced him last year, and he is difficult to get down. He's not a what you would think of as just an elusive guy, but he's difficult to get down in the pocket. He's got a deep launch point, 10 to 11 yards, and then he escapes well. And again, he's like quarterback similar to the Boston College guy, where he just keeps his eyes downfield. He's played so many downs. He's a mature quarterback. He's an older quarterback. He's been in Coach Whipple's system for a long time, but he just keeps his eyes downfield and has a way of making throws. So quite the challenge, and he played well versus Florida State, coming off of two games, I believe, where he was down, 2 to 3 games where he was down. Didn't feel like he missed a step, and once the momentum changed in that game last week versus Florida State, he took full advantage of it, and they capitalized off of sudden changes and turnovers, and they got some momentum rolling, and they got some confidence back. So he's a very good quarterback. And then again, just the thing that's underrated is everybody sees the throws, but his escapability.
Next question comes from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Talking about Pickett, he has one of the top targets in the league in freshman Jordan Addison. I believe he leads the freshman in the country in receptions. Can you tell us a little bit about his game and what he brings to the table?
Sure. Was expecting to see Jacques Louis and number 7 and the guys that we were familiar with this past season, and then all of a sudden you look at the stat sheet and there's a true freshman Jordan Addison, number 3, who's moving around. He plays slot for him. He moves in different places. They motion him to create different matchups, and they jet motion him to create jet sweeps and just get the ball in his hands. So I think they've found a guy where it's hey, we've got to get this kid 10 touches a game type kid. So the best thing that they do is they put him in the slot, and then the next best thing they do is just create motions with him, again, to create matchups and to get him open. Sounds very simple, but he is good at getting open. I know that sounds silly, but he has a certain escapability as a wide receiver, a route running, and a savviness that most freshmen do not have, and just the ability to make plays. For a true freshman to do what he's doing as early and as quickly as he did it in the season as well, for him to establish as the top target is very impressive. So it's one more tool. So you've seen them be more 11 personnel, more 10 personnel, more 3 wide receiver, more 4 wide receiver sets, because I think they have a lot of confidence in those guys.
Next question comes from Charles Odom from the Associated Press.
And in addition to having Pickett back, they seem to have developed a designated quarterback sneaker, and the Nick Patty package had a lot of success last week. How do you prepare for that, and how does the guy have so much success when he comes into the game, and everybody would think would pretty much know what he's going to be doing?
Yeah, certainly you're knowledgeable of it. You know, it's no secret now, and they know that. So you don't want to overthink it, but you would expect them to, when they get close to the goal line, to bring him in. I'm sure they'll have a complimentary pass play to go along with it. So we'll work those days. Actually, tomorrow will be a goal line and red zone day. We'll be very familiar with that package after we study it one more time this afternoon and be able to come up with a plan with it. But it makes sense, right? They're trying to protect Pickett, trying to protect number 8. And then they bring 16 in, who's a big-bodied kid, and they put him in fruitful situations. If you're a quarterback and you got to run a sneak for 1 yard or run a draw down an empty and for a yard or two, then they put him in some good positions, and that kid has executed to his credit.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Defensively, you guys haven't really had your full arsenal at any point this season, and have been kind of missing at least one key guy every game. I guess how difficult has that been in terms of just game planning and stuff when you lose guys during the week or at the end of a game or something? You can't find consistency, especially on the defensive line side, where I think you've had a different combination every game this year start.
It's become the norm, so I just don't want to use it as a crutch or use it as an excuse. It's become the norm. So, and how do you prepare for it? It's it's what we do every single week. So even in this week, we've got to find what we feel like is the best combination of players to go out on the field to be able to play fast and attack. We've done that in phases. We did that early in the game last week, and we were able to attack the football and create some takeaways and got our first defense touchdown, so that was cool. But it's Kelly, it's the norm. I don't have a cute answer for you, but literally as you go through the course of the week, Monday is our big game plan day when we get the kids off. We're able to get ahead on the bye week, but you're taking inventory of how you can piece together the best guys, and then every week again, be it injury or be it other situations in this unique season, you find out who those are. And then over the course of the week, you go through some attrition as well. So we've got to be flexible, and we've had to do that through the course of the season.
Question from Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Andrew. I think I've heard you and probably Coach Collins mention this, but I'm curious just in the, of your priorities of we got to fix this or get better at that. Where is in rushing the passer, having guys stay in their lanes and keeping the pocket tight? Sure,
yeah, absolutely. It's a big priority, specifically on third down. It's that's where it's shown up. And finishing plays, there's certainly some things we can do better to make sure that we have points on the quarterback with our pass rush lanes. And then there's a moment of truth, being able to attack and make plays. We do want to continue to be aggressive on quarterbacks and do go for strip sacks, but we want to make sure that we secure. When you're trying to complement plays, and specifically on known passing downs or third down situations, you try to create a mixture of pressure. You try to create a mixture of coverage, and when we've had moments of truth, we need to make those. And then when we've had max coverage where we've had everything covered up, we need to be able to keep the quarterback within the pocket and before he gets to the sticks on thirds downs. But we literally just 2 periods ago, as opposed to doing one-on-one pass rush, we did a collective pass rush, so 4 dudes going at the same time or 2 to a side to be able to have better consciousness of rush lanes. So those are tangible things that we're doing, and certainly showing what we can do better on film to the kids, making sure that, again, we can stay interior. And then this week creates a unique situation where he's got a certain spot where he likes to get to and a certain way he likes to flush to.
Okay, time for a few more for Coach Thacker. We'll start with one from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Andrew, I know you go into games trying to shut down the run. Pitt has not had real good success with the run, so I imagine it's really important in this game to take that dimension away from them with all they have to offer.
Absolutely. That's teams that have had success versus them. They try to establish a run, even though that's not their personality. If you give that to them, they will continue to go to the well. If they get a lead, they will bring in some heavier personnel sets and try to run the ball in that way. It is not their base identity, though. I think Coach Whipple has a lot of confidence in throwing the football around the yard, and then certainly with the quarterback that they have with the experience and then his skill set. Even I would say Florida State early in the game did a nice job on first down or P&10, start of a drive, of stopping the run to at least make them more one-handed in terms of their run-pass ratio and knowing what you're going to get. So to your point, Rod, it's critical for us to establish early downs, being able to limit the run.
Question from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
I was just kind of curious how the linebacker development's going. I know that Tyson was on the ATL for the last game but didn't get in. But I was just kind of curious where those guys are. You have 3 freshmen, and I know Franks have been dinged up. But just kind of where are those guys at in terms of maybe being able to help you out and add some depth in position where you're lacking some?
Yeah, so availability was the big piece. You talked about Katavian, but availability with the other guys. But Tyson continues to build his resume, continues to build trust. And then didn't have the opportunity with David and Demetrius. Demetrius got a bunch more reps at Mike this past week, with David having an abbreviated practice week going into Notre Dame, from him working through some things as well, working through some injuries as well. So that pushed Tyson out of the rotation a little bit. But, obviously for us to put him in that depth chart. It's not just lip service. He is going within the 2 deep, and he is on the ATL field, so every rep is invaluable for him. And he's got a very good mentor with that group as well. He's stacking David right now, taking the second reps behind him. And David's doing a great job of spending time with him extra so he can understand. Certainly the talent level is there. It's just the understanding and comfort level of putting him in the game to be able to execute and finish plays, and he's very close. So looking forward to seeing that. And then to your point, Katavian and Kai has been an availability piece for us as they continue to develop.